It's the story of a poor boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And we're coming to you after Liverpool have demolished West Ham 4-0 on the opening weekend of the season.
Yeah, we did.
It was so much more convincing than I was expecting it to be. I had a lot of trepidation going into this game purely because of the quality of the players West Ham have signed, but Liverpool did not give them a chance to show their quality at all. And from the first minute, Matt, it was really just... It was incredible from Liverpool, really.
Yeah, but saying that, I don't think we really got out of second or third gear. All of our front three can play better. I think our midfield can play better. It was routine. A routine 4-0 win. They're great, aren't they?
And it is becoming routine under Jurgen Klopp. More and more we're expecting Liverpool to score these kind of numbers. I mean, as I say, right from the first whistle, you can tell there's something about Liverpool. We're chasing every ball, chasing everything down, and there's, if there's any pressure on these players at all this season, and there might well be because of the numbers that we've spent in the summer, what we did last season in terms of the league performance, what not being great, Champions League obviously getting to the final, but there's a bit of expectation building around the club now. There could have been pressure on this game, and there could have been younger players involved, particularly, the likes of Alexander-Arnold, the likes of Joe Gomez, the likes of Naby Keita, he's only young. They might have had a bit of, and it might have taken them a while to get into the game.
Yeah.
Straight away, Liverpool just didn't allow that to happen. Nothing phased this lot yesterday at all. No matter how much the referee tried his best to get on their case.
Oh, Christ. But yeah, pretty much started as we finished last season, as when we were in properly our stride, with the relentless pressing, with the pace of the front three, with the pace of the general play, the passing, just incredible. It was like we'd never been away. And Naby Keita seems to have slotted in perfectly. Like you said, Gomez and Trent were really, really good at the back. Trent could have had a better game going forward, but I think defensively he was sound.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice to see the team start in that way, especially, like you mentioned, saying there could be some pressures on them, because it's not just Liverpool fans' expectations anymore. The rest of the league are thinking, Liverpool are title contenders this year. And I think we've come out in that opening game and said, yeah, we are. You know what? Fuck yous. We are.
Yeah. This is the thing. This team has the ability to do these incredible things, but we are not used to it this early on in the season. Liverpool normally tend to get out of the blocks a bit, not slowly, and we've seen under Jurgen Klopp, we don't exactly start slowly, but...
Don't do anything slowly with Klopp.
Well, that's it. But, I mean, you look at last season, it's a 3-3 draw against Watford. The season before, it's the 4-3 win against Arsenal. We're not... Whilst we've scored a lot of goals in these, we've leaked goals in there as well.
Yeah.
The team has tended to not look great. Arsenal, we were on fire for about 20 minutes, but we died off and let them back into the game.
And we were quite poor in the start of the first half as well.
And Watford last season, characteristic mistake from Simon Mignolet at the end.
Of course.
Punching it into his own fucking net, basically.
But this was just consistent 90 minutes of just us being much the better team and putting them to the sword, really.
Yeah, and it lays down a benchmark, and it basically says to Man City, right they are, so this is what we're going to do this season, and this is the level that we think we can play at this season. What can you do? And fair enough, Man City, they go away to Arsenal, they win 2-0.
Yeah.
But which is never easy. But they were never... They didn't look as impressive as Liverpool. And as you've just said then, Liverpool, you always sensed, if Liverpool wanted to score 8 yesterday, Liverpool would have scored 8 yesterday.
If not for Fabianski, I think we could have.
Yeah. There's a stat Andrew Beasley's put on Twitter that you were talking about earlier about the number of shots that we've had in the 6-yard box yesterday.
Yeah. So we got behind their lines a lot yesterday and had 6 shots inside the 6-yard box. And for context, the average for us last season was about 1.2, I think it was. And the average for a lot of good teams is around that mark. If we can routinely get in behind defences with our fullbacks becoming essentially wing-backs and getting lots of low crosses in. And with the balls coming at the right time from Navigator, which we'll get into later, oh, he's great. We could get a lot. Well, we scored a lot of goals last season. But it's feasible that we could get more.
Yeah, there's a beauty behind the goals that were scored yesterday in the fact that I said to you after the game that all four of them, none of them are stunners, but at the same time, they are so well crafted. All right, Sturridge is, it's a flick on in the box. That can happen in any game. But when you look at the two from Mane and the goal from Salah, it's just so well crafted. Liverpool have hit West Ham where it hurts, and Liverpool have hit them quickly. They've built quickly, got the ball forward from midfield, and moved it straight out to the wings, used the fullbacks. And if Liverpool are getting chances within the 6-yard box, within 12 yards of the goal, really, then all it means is that Liverpool have sort of transcended the days of needing a Philip Coutinho blockbuster to win a game. Do you know what I mean? That was the case for a while.
We're not a team that needs worldies anymore.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that we won't see screamers this season.
We've still got that in our locker, which is great, but we don't need them. Mm-hmm. Like the general play from this team, that front six, I'm including Wijnaldum in this because his general play was brilliant.
He was. And
then the two fullbacks bombing on as well. The understanding between everyone is so good. And with Navigator coming in, it seems like he's played here for years. It's ridiculous how quick his passing is and how well he seems to fit in. Should we talk about the first goal?
Yeah, why not?
While we're on that.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really good ball from Trent.
Yeah.
To bring it from midfield, from defence into midfield and letting Navigator run into some space. It's really, really good.
You touched on it a bit earlier, but he wasn't great yesterday going forward, Trent. A lot of his balls were over it. He looked like a fella.
His crosses.
Yeah. A lot of his crosses were over it. His free kicks were fantastic. Well, the free kick he took, I thought it was in.
Same. I was already in the air.
But the overall, the crosses weren't great, but it stunk of somebody who needed another week maybe of pre-season.
Maybe, yeah.
And that's not a criticism of Trent because he was still great. There's no Liverpool player who's coming off that pitch yesterday with less than a 7 out of 10 in my head.
Definitely not.
He was great, and picking that ball to Keita when he did, the space was there. But it's all about Naby Keita finding that space for me as well.
Yes.
And this is something that I don't think we saw enough last season from your Emre Cans, your Gini Wijnaldums, your Alex Oxlade-Chamberlains, to be honest, until Oxlade-Chamberlain was
until
more
the second half of the season.
Oxlade-Chamberlain's, even then though, was still more of a win it back, put Liverpool on the front foot kind of thing. Whereas Naby Keita has that in his locker, but he also finds that space himself.
Feels great to have a complete midfielder, doesn't it?
He is just incredible.
I know it's only been one game, but oh god, I watched him all game. When we went into Anfield, I was like, right, I'm just gonna watch Naby Keita, and it was fucking brilliant.
He is something else, and it's horrible to sit here and have this I say horrible. It's not horrible at all, but to have this sense of anticipation about somebody and have already built him up to this level, but
he's played expectations.
He's played one game, and we can't get too excited about him. We've seen some great. Well, we've seen some great performances from some very average footballers at Anfield, shall we say. I remember being particularly impressed with Milan Jovanovic once upon a time. And
those were the days.
Maybe. David Ngog scoring goals against Arsenal. I'm like, you know what? He could be a good player. But, you know what I mean? I'm not for 1 minute saying Naby Keita's going that way. But Alberto Aquilani's probably the prime
probably,
thing.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He had that game against Portsmouth under Rafa where he basically just took the game.
Just ran the show.
Yeah, and he was incredible. And it's that kind of game where you're like, yeah, you could be good there. And it was that, but in your first game. It wasn't 6 months down the line. It was in your first game. Naby Keita's just grabbed this game. Yep, all right, I'm in charge now. Takes the ball a bit further than normal players would.
Yeah, Arthur Cobb was screaming for him to pass to Robbo, and he waited and he waited and he waited for the perfect moment to make the pass. and it was such a good decision.
It's well weighted as well,
because
Robertson literally just has to look up and find Mo.
Yeah.
And he does it. We know how good Robertson's
easiest assist Robert's going to have for a while.
Yeah. And he is going to get assists this season if Liverpool are going to be playing this way. It was so impressive yesterday. It really was. Just to see Robertson and Trent have that creative freedom, which we've come to associate with those two really. And Mo Salah is never going to have an easier finish.
No, pretty much on a plate.
Yeah,
I'd be very impressed if he missed it, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, it raises questions. We can sit here and we can wax lyrical about Liverpool all day, but it raises questions about how much of it was Liverpool and how much was West Ham.
Yeah, there is one caveat to this performance is West Ham kind of put everything on the plate for us.
Yeah,
playing such a high line.
West Ham played. It was like when Roma came to Anfield last year.
Yes. Yeah.
And we were just like, why the fucking hell are you playing with your defence this high? And then West Ham, who you'd think would know us better, Manuel Pellegrini's a very good manager. You would think he'd appreciate that you can't maybe give these players this much creative freedom, and yet we're seeing the likes of Salah, the likes of Mane have freedom in midfield if they want it, and whilst Robertson and Alexander-Arnold bomb past the line. The defensive line from West Ham, it's been spoken about a lot by people who know a lot more about football than I do.
Oh yeah.
But it is baffling. It was baffling yesterday to see it. Just purely because it was literally like West Ham just turned around and went, all right, so what we're going to do is
perfect for Liverpool to play against. Okay, let's do that.
Exactly. He basically sat down and he with a pen and a bit of paper, and he went, right, okay, so if I play a narrow back four, give Liverpool the flanks, and then we'll just play on the 18-yard line, and then that should be all right. And that was how Pellegrini set up his defence.
Doesn't even take much drawing, that.
Yeah, exactly. He literally drew 4 dots along the 18-yard line, and that was like, right, lads, that line. You stick to that line.
You think he did it just so he didn't have to draw another line?
Maybe. Maybe he's that much of a perfectionist that he needed that line already.
See, the perfectionist in me quite
I
admires
understand,
that. Admires that.
Yeah.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
Definitely. But, I mean, it's not very often. I mean, Liverpool was still incredible yesterday, and Liverpool, as I say, probably the most impressive team in the top 6 in terms of
especially considering we weren't at our best, and we blew West Ham away.
Yeah, exactly. Boy Firmino looked a bit out of it, just a tad, but he's still 7 out of 10, as I said before.
Oh yeah, and his dribble for the offside Mane goal was great.
Yeah, but Liverpool will not be given this opportunity that often. But when West Ham did look organised, Liverpool still had this ability to just pick out passes that shouldn't have really been there. And it was all around Naby Keita.
Yep.
And Naby Keita finding those pockets of space, and it's hugely exciting. But I can talk about Naby Keita all day, and we're going to be talking about him all season probably. James Milner.
It's going to be player of the season. It's going to be great.
Well, we'll get on to my player of the season very shortly. But James Milner. What can you say about James Milner? He comes away with Sky's man of the match from yesterday.
Good. Well deserved. That's with Mane getting 2 goals as well.
He was fucking stunning yesterday.
Everywhere, again. And that is my one takeaway every game when I watch James Milner. He is absolutely everywhere. And
I think he went under the radar yesterday with probably with Liverpool fans purely because of how incredible Naby Keita was and how we were all waiting for Naby Keita to come alive.
Yeah, probably half the cop was just staring at Naby Keita all game.
Well, I mean, me and you included.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In that. But when you watch James Milner yesterday, and the reason I bring it up is because it feeds nicely onto the second goal.
It does indeed.
The
great at segues us.
The determination Milner shows to get to that ball. I mean, Robertson slightly over it. That cross, his delivery for once not perfect,
not optimal,
but not optimal. Yeah, why not? But it just the sheer ambition and the sheer drive to get to that ball, like from a 32-year-old midfielder who's been there and done it. He's won everything. Do you know what I mean? And that's exactly why he starts yesterday. And that's why Liverpool didn't go out and like that's probably why Liverpool haven't got Fekir in anyway. That kind of thing from the midfielders we've already got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Klopp can turn around and he knows he can rely on the lads who are there right now. And that might be why he decided he wasn't going to push through with a move for a player they weren't 100% sure about. And, you know, it's a simple cross in the end from Milner, but to get there in the first place...
It's hard to get to that. I think I saw a stat on Twitter. He ran the most on the pitch yesterday. He... made the most passes and had like 90-odd% pass completion rate. It's absolutely phenomenal that a man at 32 years of age can be the hardest worker on the pitch.
He's hitting his peak now.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's so strange. It's Cristiano Ronaldo levels of strange. The way he's hitting his peak now. If Milner carries on like this, he's going to be winning the Ballon d'Or at 45. He's putting other England internationals who came through at a similar time to him to shame a little bit. I'm not really having a go at Steven Gerrard for there, but you know, when we were seeing Gerrard at this age, we were all kind of saying Gerrard's going to have to move a little bit further back here. He's not got the legs to run anymore like he used to. And you've seen Wayne Rooney, he's in the twilight now. He's gone over to DC United.
Yeah, I think
James Milner though is still playing at the top level, the top levels.
I think in a little bit defence of those two, their game was always a little bit more explosive, and Milner has always been a bit more of a workhorse.
I can sort of understand that, but you can't tell me that Steven Gerrard never put like all action performances.
No, I'm not.
And Rooney as well, to that effect. Rooney loved chasing after the ball when he lost it at United. Do you know what I mean? He'd come back 30, 40 yards just to win the ball. And I mean, he did that for DC United. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, no, I did actually. But, it was fantastic. He was absolutely goosed afterwards. He wasn't even celebrating, was he?
But I mean, it's one thing doing that in the US, and you know, some players do struggle over there. Gerrard struggled over there somewhat, but James Milner is still doing it in the Premier League at the top level at a team who were very, very likely to go close this season, if not do it.
Yeah,
and. I mean, I've laid down my criteria for the title win, which I'll get to later.
Yeah, you have.
Which
I'm fully in agreement.
Yeah, but we'll get there. It's a lovely finish from Mane as well.
Really is, because the cross, while it's amazing by Milner, it is a bit behind Mane, isn't it? And it would be quite easy for him to slice at that.
Yeah, I'd have expected Mane to get a touch always, but to get the control on it, to get it going the opposite direction to the way he's moving. It's a nice finish. It is, and it's it's lost when it's 4 yards out. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people are expecting Mane to turn that in, but
it is an odd finish.
He quite easily could have just missed that completely, and you're like, oh, it's just a little bit behind.
Yeah.
But instead, he's got a little knack for it as well, Mane, because he did it against Spartak Moscow last season when we won 7-0.
He seems to be really good at finishing...
digging one out.
Yeah, especially when he's kind of off balance as well. Like, he's halfway falling over, it's a weird angle. He seems to always be able to pull it out.
Which he did for the third as well.
Exactly, yeah. It just screams to me of a player that just knows where the goal is, and he's got that finishing instinct, and he can just do it.
Yeah.
Get him in the space, and he can finish.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about Liverpool's speed of attack, and it's present for the third goal in particular, because the third goal we see Firmino and Milner just straight away when they get on the ball. When Milner gets on the ball, straight away Firmino finds that space in there.
Yeah, that build from midfield is so quick.
It's ridiculous. Like, we almost bypass a midfield at this point. Do you know what I mean? We almost don't have one anymore. We basically split it into defence and attack straight away, because it's that fluid. That midfield doesn't really play a role in the attacking side. They just
the midfield just becomes the
exactly.
Attack,
that's what I mean. We basically just get another two attackers, whilst Gini yesterday or Henderson for the latter stages. They just sit off a little bit. Thought he was very good as well when he came on. Jordan Henderson sprayed a lot of nice passes around, which you can't expect from Jordan Henderson.
Of course.
Mane's offside for the third goal.
He's quite offside.
Offside. It's one of those. we were due a bit of luck.
We're now the luckiest team in the league.
we were due a little bit of luck because
didn't get a penalty though.
Anthony Taylor is a cunt.
Threw in a good tackle against Wijnaldum though. Got to give him that.
He did. He won the ball back very cleanly. Just a slight obstruction on the man.
Wanker.
I can't believe he's allowed to referee Liverpool games. He's from
calling him all the names under the sun.
He's from Wythenshawe, which is too close to Old Trafford for him to be allowed to be in charge of Liverpool games. And
thankfully, despite his best efforts, he didn't have an impact on the game because
he just tried to.
He still ended up winning 4-0.
It just seemed to me that the pace of the game, he just wanted to take all the pace of all the sting out of Liverpool that he could yesterday, and it felt horrible.
Giving them every little thing and giving us
everything you could have let go. No, not letting him go unless it was a West Ham tackle on a Liverpool player instead.
In the box, especially.
And even then, you're turning around and you're looking at it and you're like, there's a couple he's given where you're like, just let the play go. There's one in particular where I think we're about to break on the halfway line, and you look up and Firmino and Mane are basically in, and he gives the free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And there's just no need for it at all. He's a prick. But yeah. And then it's capped with the man who we've all spoken about all pre-season.
And we're all ready to get hurt
all
by again.
ready to be hurt by. And it ended with me screaming, hurt me again, Danny, please, in the middle of the cop. I am so ready for it. I mean, he does what strikers do.
Yes, striker's finish, isn't it?
It is a striker's finish. It's lovely to see Daniel Sturridge back and actually playing for Liverpool, and you just kind of expected something to happen with him just because of the way that pre-season's gone, and he looks like a different fella to the one that left on loan last year.
Yeah,
it's like he's had a glimpse of the outside, and now he's like, nope, don't want to go back.
Liverpool's the team for me.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to end up playing for someone who could get relegated. I want to be right up the top.
Yeah,
and maybe it's a case of what we were saying about Shaqiri as well. In that he sees this as maybe his last chance at the top level, and
it's a bit extra motivation. Isn't it?
And it must make you go, right, okay, well, I need to make this work. He's got a year left. Play with freedom. Fuck it. See what happens.
Yeah. For a fit Sturridge and Shaqiri to be our first two subs every game, that is really, really good. We haven't even spoken about the bench, have we?
literally about to say, I can't believe we started this without talking about the bench. So I mean, the bench yesterday for Liverpool: Nathaniel Klein, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, Adam Lallana, Xherdan Shaqiri, Daniel Sturridge, and Loris Karius.
That's a strong bench.
If you put those 7 players onto a field and then fill the gaps with kids, that team you would say is top 6 worthy. To challenge for at least. Do you know what I mean?
It's a bloody good League Cup team, ain't it?
It'd give a lot of teams a good run in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And it would be challenging to break into the top 6 easily.
Yeah. That's without Lovren and Matip as well.
Yeah, Lovren and Matip are missing from there. Oxlade-Chamberlain's obviously missing from there as well. I mean,
Solanke.
You lash those in. Dominic Solanke's not on that bench. Do you know what I mean? Last season he would have been. And there's a huge contrast between what we have, and it's literally 4 names that have done that. Do you know what I mean? It's 4 signings that have done that. We've brought in a very, very confident goalkeeper, which we saw yesterday. He is not afraid to take risks.
Not afraid to just do his lunges and do his warm-ups while the game's going on. It's like, yeah.
Telling you now, I want to play a Cameron Allison this season. That's all I want. I think Liverpool could market it and just have Sky. Do you remember when we were little, had player cams on games, and you could, if you press the red button, you could follow around a certain player.
I think there was a Klopp cam in Germany a couple of seasons ago, I think.
But
and Allison cam would be great.
I'd love to watch Allison. He was literally just doing lunges just because he was bored when Liverpool had possession.
I kept tapping my kid like, look, he's doing it again.
He's absolutely massive as well. It's terrifying. Honest to God, I knew he was physically imposing, but like when you actually see him yesterday, like, don't think I noticed it too much with Roma because I was a bit swept away in the Champions League semi-final of it all. Do you know what I mean? But he's fucking huge.
Yeah. You know what was boss with Alisson when he came out? Well, when the team came out second half, the reception that he got coming towards the Kop. We are so excited to have a keeper of his quality.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, like the reception that he got was really, really good.
Yeah, and he will have a lot more difficult games for Liverpool.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to them, to be honest.
Yeah,
because I want to
see what he's
I want to see what he's made of. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talked about the other signing in Naby Keita, who started. We should probably speak about Xherdan Shaqiri a little bit.
I was impressed when he came on.
Yeah.
I wanted a few more minutes from him. He came on at about 70, 80 mark, didn't he? I would have preferred 60. But
have you seen the clock cuddle? Have you seen the clock cuddle?
And the way that Shaqiri looks at Klopp as well. My God. Hearts in his eyes.
Yeah. Find you a fella who looks at.
He's a proper little fucking pest, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And he's quick and doesn't give up, and he's really got an eye for a pass. It's brilliant.
He has. His passing range has impressed me.
Yeah.
In the brief chances that we've had to actually see him so far, his passing range, he's not afraid to look up and pick out a ball across. And there's one in particular yesterday. I think it's
out to Keita on
Keita,
the left wing.
Yeah, and he makes it look so effortless, and I'm very excited to see Xherdan Shaqiri get more opportunities this
Definitely,
season.
Yeah. He was the first one over to Sturridge when he scored as well, which I was dead happy with. And he looked made up for him. Yeah. Really, really made up for him.
Obviously, we didn't see Fabinho yesterday. Been carrying a knock all week. And not feeling too well either, apparently.
It's exciting when he comes in, though.
I can't see him starting against Crystal Palace, though.
No way.
I think Crystal Palace away is too hard a game for you to make your debut in the Premier League. I think Brighton is probably earmarked at the moment for his debut.
Possibly, yeah.
It might be.
You'd feel like it'd be not that Brighton is going to be an easy game. It's going to be an easier game for that role in midfield. Probably.
It's more. Crystal Palace has one of the toughest atmospheres to play in the Premier League. To do that on your first on your first appearance is difficult. Whereas at Anfield, everyone's going to be behind them. If there's mistakes, we're like, all right, we've paid 40 million quid for you. We're not going to get on your back straight away. We'll give you 2 games before we start doing that.
Don't let the main stand ultras like you.
I know, yeah, fucking hell. There was a point where Alisson gives the ball away in the second half.
There was a bit of a sharp intake of breath.
And everyone around us was like, fucking get rid of him. I was like, lad, we've literally paid 63 million quid for this fella.
He knows what he's doing.
Just so he can do things like that and just give the ball into midfield under pressure, which he did regularly yesterday. And Liverpool breaking from defence through the full-backs and into Wijnaldum and Keita and Milner as well.
His quick releases up to Salah as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely to see. It's lovely to see a keeper even try that.
Yeah, it really is.
It just means we've got something else in our locker. We don't always have to play quickly out from the back. We can just hit it long to Salah over the top. Why not? Root one every now and again.
I want to talk a little bit about Gini Wijnaldum as well.
Yes.
Not in terms of he was good yesterday.
I thought he was really good in that holding role. I thought he was really good.
Well, this is the thing. Apparently, that's where Klopp sees his long-term future. Is that where you see Gini Wijnaldum?
I see Gini Wijnaldum as...
What are his strengths in your eyes? What are Gini Wijnaldum's best features that we can actually...
Ball retention, probably. He's a really good recycler of the ball, and he's very strong. He's for such a little guy, he's really, really strong. He doesn't really get bullied off the ball much. And when you say those two attributes, that sounds like a really, really good defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we bought him as a 10. He was an attacking mid for Newcastle, banging in loads of home goals, no away goals, as we're regularly reminded. But but he's got an eye for goal, and he ventured out of his holding role a couple of times yesterday. Had some shots. If we can see Wijnaldum as that kind of midfielder who can come from deep, maybe late into the box to finish off some moves, I'd really, really enjoy that. I think this might be the season when we see Wijnaldum be a really good midfielder. Not that he wasn't really good before, but he was definitely down in the pecking order. But maybe he's going to have Henderson and Fabinho to compete with in that holding role.
Well,
but if he can have the other box-to-box role next to Keita, and put in a shift next to Henderson or Fabinho and then move forward, I kind of see him as that this season.
That's fair. I mean, it raises questions to me because, as you say, it means we have three people who can play there. It raises questions to me about whether we do actually have three people who are going to play there, or whether who is going to be the one who moves forward. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether or not it was just a stopgap for a game, and it was just, all right, well, we know Gini's reliable in there, that's fine, tick a box. Or whether it's, all right, well, Gini can play there, so let's see Jordan Henderson get a little bit of creative freedom going forward. Let's see Fabinho maybe fill in defence if he's needed to. Or he can play more advanced as well, I believe. I've not seen enough of Fabinho to start making
He's played
guesses.
at right back a few times as well, you know.
He started his career at right back for Real Madrid. Well, not for Real Madrid, but when he was at Real Madrid, he was playing it. But yeah, it's interesting with Wijnaldum. I think he has got attributes, as you said, that will make him, like, on paper. If you say that, if you say those two things you've just said, the first person you're looking at is N'Golo Kante, probably. And Gini Wijnaldum is not N'Golo Kante, and you know they're different players completely. But when you see that Chelsea have moved Kante a little bit forward, and yet we're moving Wijnaldum a little bit further back, it's just interesting, isn't it?
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the midfield once Henderson's fully fit and once Fabinho's made his debut and eased his way in. If there's going to be a rotation policy, or if it's going to be someone's going to nail down that defensive role, and then
definitely
see what happens.
Two other players I want to talk about, because we spoke about pretty much everybody else, and it's definitely not leaving the worst to last. Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez yesterday. Now, Joe Gomez, you know, he has a bit of an issue with concentration, and yesterday
it's judging the flight of the ball.
It's judgment, definitely. And there's one instance yesterday where the ball goes long over his head. He has definitely misjudged the ball. Arnautovic takes an absolutely stunning touch, but the fucking speed of Joe Gomez to get back and cover him, and
get
the block in, and knock it out for a corner.
Yeah, he did really well there.
Yeah, he really did.
There were quite a few times when him and Trent on that right hand side tracked back really well to make the tackle.
And I have to make an apology to the pair of them as well, because I did say last week that I saw Nathaniel Klein starting this game purely because of the inexperience on that right-hand side of the defence. But Jurgen Klopp has a lot more football knowledge than I do, it turns out. Who'd have thought it?
Who'd have thought it?
And, you know, the pair of them, they clearly... It's nice to see them both play, rather than, you know, this whole... It has to be one or the other, exactly. And obviously, circumstances dictated that had to happen. You know, Lovren being injured, not fucking blagging and injured, like not saying like, oh yeah, I'm injured now. Or the one that I've heard is that he has been injured the whole time, but he didn't tell Liverpool in case Liverpool bought a new centre half. That one burnt my head out. I couldn't believe that people are actually suggesting...
people can think he's thick, but he's not that thick, Jesus.
I mean, people can say that, but Jurgen Klopp thinks he's actually a very, very good centre-half, so Jurgen Klopp's not going to be playing mind games like that.
He's not Mourinho, fucking hell.
But circumstances did dictate yesterday that we had to play Joe Gomez as centre-half, and he didn't let us down. But the main reason it all came together at the back yesterday, obviously we've already spoke about West Ham not being great going, like they didn't really offer much in terms of a threat, and Liverpool will have harder games this season. But Virgil van Dijk was absolutely imperious yesterday. He won every header. There was a point, we were watching Match of the Day, just before we started this, we decided to watch Match of the Day just to have a little recap. And there's a point where Virgil van Dijk gives away a corner because Andrew Robertson hasn't blocked the ball. And he turns around and he's screaming at Robertson, stop the fucking cross.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop the fucking cross. And straight away, that we've missed that so much. We've missed a fella. I remember when... One of my favourite memories of going to Anfield when I was a kid is, I say kid, I think I was 17, but Jamie Carragher and screaming at Martin Kelly when we were playing Lyon in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And, Kelly at the time was about 19, I think, and it was Carragher just going, Kelly, get back in position now! And it was like, fucking, like, I could hear Carragher, like, I can hear you sat next to me, do you know what I mean? And you need that. You need that. You need an organiser.
He's such a good marshal of that defence, isn't he? He's got like the vocalism of Carra and like the class of Hippier. It's ridiculous how it's just an amalgamation of the two of them.
He's so comfortable on the ball as well. It's ridiculous, and
some of his passing out from the back was amazing again.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm so surprised by it, but I just love seeing it. Love seeing it.
I think I will never ever be able to underestimate how much more about football Jurgen Klopp knows than me after the Virgil van Dijk signing. Because Virgil van Dijk, like, my head fully fell off last August.
Yeah.
Well, last September.
It was horrible.
It was last September, wasn't it? It's like September 2nd, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there going, Van Dijk.
Sign a centre-back.
Sign a centre-half. If you're not going to sign Van Dijk, just sign someone. Just sign a centre-half, please. Cause
we just need a body.
We need the body. We need the centre-half. We need a centre-half. Fuck off, you haven't signed centre-half. What's going to happen here? We're all going to die. Liverpool are never going to win the league in my life, ever. And I'm just going to fucking go and buy 15 cats and live on my own forever. And that was
I am going to buy 15 cats.
that was the equivalent of the breakdown that, like, me and you had, basically.
And pretty much all of
Liverpool, yeah. And it was, all right, well, why have we not got a plan B? And the reason we've not got a plan B is because plan A is the best defender in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I mean, there are people who will argue about it, but, I mean, for our money, he is anyway. And it comes back. It probably comes back to what we were saying about Bobby Firmino last year, in that you wouldn't have Harry Kane over him because Harry Kane wouldn't work in this Liverpool team the way Firmino does. And I think there's an argument to say that it's the same thing for Virgil van Dijk. He might not suit other teams who are constantly under pressure. Or, do you know what I mean? Or he might not. He might not have had the same effect at Man United. Do you know what I mean? But at Liverpool, he fits. He plays the ball out from the back. He's not afraid to break the lines if he needs to and go and lead and dribble out of the back.
Yeah, he went on a bit of a run at one point, didn't he?
And maybe it's that. Maybe it's that he suits Liverpool more than an Alderweireld would, for example, or a company would. Definitely a company because he's more injury prone than fucking Matter. but I love Virgil van Dijk, and a stat came out yesterday. No one's had more clean sheets since Virgil van Dijk made his Premier League debut for Liverpool than Virgil van Dijk, and Liverpool haven't conceded the goal at Anfield since February.
Boss at it.
February. I mean, we signed a new goalkeeper for 63 million quid since then as well.
Yeah.
It's madness.
It's feasible we might not concede a single goal this season.
Liverpool to go unbeaten. Yeah,
I think I saw it. 12 to 1?
12 to 1. Yeah. It's not worth it. But
unbeaten at home, that is.
Oh, yeah, unbeaten at home, sorry, yeah. I mean, Liverpool, there's every chance. We did it last year. There's every chance that happens again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, those odds are great. Like, don't put that on.
Yes, story of a poor boy bets. We're back.
Yeah, we are.
I'm going to say that every week.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a commanding 4-0 win. Who's your man of the match?
It's between Milner and Keita, I think. I'd probably go Milner.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm going Keita.
That's fair. I just thought Milner was absolutely everywhere. And with a gaping head wound as well. Like, props to him.
Yeah, fair play with that in mind as well.
Did you see in the post-match interview, Mane thought he was going to get man of the match? Well, I think Mane thought he was going to get man of the match because, come on, he scored two goals. Just a little bit gutted for Mane. He wasn't even in that conversation for man of the match, was he?
It's all right because he's going to win Player of the Year.
He is,
as Mikey predicted last week.
See, I reckon it's going to be Keita because I reckon he's going to get. He's playing. He played a couple of the balls before the final ball. He's going to get a lot of assists this season, I feel. I
can understand where you're coming from. But when Keita's playing behind Mane and the pair of them can just interchange.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That left-hand side, the play between Robertson and Keita and Mane is really
the whole left-hand
really
side
good.
of Liverpool's pitch, when you think about it, yesterday's Van Dijk with Robertson at the back, and then you've got Keita and then Mane.
Arguable, though, that's our strongest side. And Salah plays on the right.
Yeah. That is madness. Yeah, I mean, having seen the first game, obviously it's only one game in, but are you feeling confident about your Player of the Year prediction with Naby Keita then?
Oh yeah, definitely.
See, I'm more confident about mine.
No, that's fair.
I think he is. I think
there's a lot of good players in this team. I think we could have picked anyone and thought, yeah.
That's
still
fair.
dead confident.
That's fair. I could be sitting here
Could
going,
have said
you know
James
what?
Milner's going to be Player of the Year.
I was going to say, I could sit here and just go, you know what, Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? He can play some balls, and he may
Young Player of the Year. I don't think Harry Kane can qualify it anymore because he's about 40.
James Milner might win it this year. I'm sure someone will pop up this season to give. It's not going to be clear cut, and it's very rare that a defender wins that kind of accolade anyway. Yeah. I could see him maybe moving into midfield as the season goes on, purely because we have Klein there. Feels a bit of a waste. I did say that to you earlier as well, didn't I? Earlier on the pre-season, that I could definitely see that happening, just purely because it feels a waste to have two players of Premier League.
Yeah, and he could fill that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain shaped hole in the midfield. Yeah. I think he can do that role very well.
Might see that around Christmas when there's rotation involved.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, Mane, the freedom that I was talking about teams maybe concentrating on other players around them, it definitely played into Mane's hand yesterday.
He had a lot of space to play with. And
I think we're going to see some fucking serious numbers from Sadio Mane this season.
Thing is, you're going to have teams doubling up on Salah. You're going to have teams worried about Firmino all the time. You're probably going to have teams starting to try and double up on Keita as well.
You only have 11 players on the pitch.
Exactly. It's going to be ridiculous. The players that they're going to leave in space were like Trent and Robbo bombing on, with Mane, with James fucking Milner. And then there's a lot of good There's a lot of good players in this team, and teams can't defend against all of them. They just can't.
It's very exciting. It really is. It's one of the most exciting times I can remember as a Liverpool fan.
That's the thing I wanted to say. It's been so there's always the pre-season excitement, and as you're on the way to the match, you're giddy, you're full of butterflies. I was so excited for this game. I was basically skipping across Everton Park on my way to yours after I'd regained my breath from climbing the fucking hill. My God, it's horrible. But to have that same excitement as we exit Anfield as well, I haven't had that. I haven't had that in the first game at Anfield ever. I don't think to be as excited going out as I am going in.
I can understand that. The one time I've thought it properly was probably Leicester on Jurgen Klopp's first full season, when Leicester turned up as champions and we just 4-1 just blew them away.
Yeah.
And it was the first game with the new main stand, and it felt a bit special.
Yeah, no, it was.
But I understand completely what you mean. It was a different circumstance because we played a couple of games at that point as well, whereas this year you're it's the first
game of the season and we're off to a flyer.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's dead exciting.
It definitely is. Elsewhere this weekend, so our top four rivals, if we can call them that now. In fact, let's not say top four rivals, our title rivals this season. Fuck top four. We're nailed on for top
four. So we're talking about one game then? If we're talking title rivals.
Well, we should talk about the other teams who could possibly do things.
Title rivals, and then whoever's going to finish third and fourth.
Man United were very predictable.
It was pretty much a very Premier League United opener performance, really. We got a pen very early on, which is very United.
It is extraordinarily United, and then obviously they get a goal via Luke Shaw. It's
universally lambasted for the last 3 years.
Ferguson used to do that. He used to just win games because weird players would pop up. John O'Shea or Wes Brown would pop up out of nowhere and get him a goal, and it's all right, okay, he's won that game then. Fucking Federico Maqueda home to Aston Villa.
Go back to being shit for forever after
fucking
that.
Prick. Seething. Danny Welbeck, when he was young and full of promise and wasn't getting
I'm
played.
still full of hope.
Yeah, and wasn't getting played as a defender and training for Arsenal.
To be fair, Arsenal don't really have any left backs anymore.
In all fairness to United, Leicester's a difficult game. Leicester made it awkward.
Yeah.
But
I thought Leicester were really quite good, actually.
I thought they were first half. I think second half they died off a little bit. If Vardy plays a full game, if a certain Riyad Mahrez is still there, then
Yeah, they were desperately missing Riyad Mahrez.
they were. James Maddison looked very good.
Yeah, he's the new
Very
number 10,
good.
isn't he?
Yeah. Looked very good. Massive Liverpool fan as well.
Oh, yes.
Look forward to that next season. It's like Will Hughes all over again. That. I remember just being absolutely convinced Liverpool were going to sign Will Hughes
That's
for
like
fucking
3 years on the trot as well, wasn't it? It was like,
because-
we're signing Will Hughes this season, it's got to be the season.
because he's a Liverpool fan. That's the only reason. I remember signing him on Footy Manager loads of times just because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought United just dug in, and it must be difficult to watch as a United fan at the start of the season when your ambitions are to challenge the City and Liverpool for. And it is City and Liverpool at this point. Maybe you can include Tottenham in that bracket as well.
No.
You can shake your head all you like, but
They haven't bought anyone.
they haven't bought anyone, and it is going to pay. But yeah, it must be difficult to see that, to see a team play like that. David De Gea made more saves in the first 45 minutes than he did in the entire World Cup.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, Premier League, De Gea's back then.
Yeah, prick. I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Real Madrid had 2 jobs this year. 2 jobs this
By
year.
Hazard and by De Gea.
No.
I mean, into either.
Fucking roll over in the Champions League final.
Yeah, that's it.
And by De Gea. And they failed, both of them. Pricks. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic United. Well, it's a classic Mourinho performance.
And hey, they get the win.
Yeah, and I just can't see it working every week for them.
No, they weren't impressive. One person who did impress, Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
He was running the show in midfield.
I don't think it's necessarily done with him leaving before September.
Well, we'll see.
I would not mind him to leave.
I would very much enjoy it.
Yeah, I would love that. It would be my
would
favourite
love it.
thing. I would love it if they sold him. Love it. Yeah, so that was the Friday night game. Saturday, we are literally just going to breeze through these because no one's asked really.
I barely watched many of them.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to talk about the Reds. Newcastle Tottenham was the 12 game on Saturday. I thought Spurs, like we both said last week, looked fucking shattered.
They look sluggish.
And Newcastle give it a good go, but they just didn't have enough about them.
Yeah, the quality's just not there, is it?
Matt Ritchie was right to be fuming about being taken off because he was very good.
Yeah.
While he was on the pitch, it's a lovely goal from Hosselu. Nearly as nice as Dele Alli's header as well. Well, the cross for Dele Alli's header from Aurier. But in the end, it was literally just that Newcastle just weren't good enough. Spurs look shattered. Eric Dyer's pulling up with cramp in the 87th minute.
As soon as Spurs come up against a better team than Newcastle, they're going to really struggle. Especially in the first couple of months.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be difficult for them this year because they
didn't fucking buy anyone.
Yeah, and they should have. They definitely should have. And when Son fucks off as well, it's another body gone.
Yeah, he's off to the Asia Games, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's literally going to take an injury to Tottenham to one of their big rollers, and that's it then. As far as I'm concerned, with them definitely for title, but top 4 is not by any means assured because of the team who won at Huddersfield this week, which was Chelsea. I was not impressed by Chelsea at all. First half, in particular, I thought Huddersfield were a much better team. You didn't watch this, did you?
No, no.
But Huddersfield, though, looked again. They just looked shy of somebody to make that difference. As much as they tried, Chelsea snuck into a 2-goal lead at half time, and I can't quite work out how. Kante and Jorginho with the goals. It was baffling, really.
Not your first picks for who would score Chelsea's first 2 goals?
No, not really.
I heard Morata was crap.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. I thought Ross Barkley was alright.
Yeah.
As well. But in terms of just setting down a marker, Chelsea first half were poor. David Luiz had to keep going back and organising the defence and the goalkeeper, and he was saying to the goalkeeper, like, calm it down, kind of thing.
You know, it's bad when David Luiz is trying to be the organiser.
There's actually a point where the keeper kicks the ball long, and David Luiz runs 20 yards back to have a word with him about something, and just be like, you know, calm it down, kind of thing. But that was first half. Second half, they came out and they were so assured.
Yeah.
And they looked really confident. They looked like a team who had a two goal cushion and were just ready to see the game out. And, you know, that's not what you typically associate with the Sarri teams. With Napoli last season, you went.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah. It's like full pelt football.
Yeah. That's what we've been led to believe anyway. But there was a maturity about the performance from Chelsea. Again, Huddersfield, if two more players, probably one or two more players, and they win that game.
Yeah.
But because of the quality Chelsea do have there, which is still there, it's worth remembering. It might well be a transitional season for them, but it is still there, that quality. They won 3-0 comfortably.
Yeah. We haven't. So the podcast last week was before Chelsea made all their last minute signings as well. What do you make of it? Obviously they brought in Kepa when Courtois left, and they got Kovacic as well.
Kovacic is interesting. I've wanted to see him in the Premier League for a while, but his stats don't make for good reading.
There's not many goals in that midfield, is there?
No, there's not at all. But we've been linked with him numerous times. I've always wondered why Liverpool didn't quite make the move for him. I guess we'll see this season what he can offer. If I was a Chelsea fan, I would be a bit concerned what it means for Loftus-Cheek, because I think I'd much rather see Loftus-Cheek at the minutes.
And the Kovacic deal, if there's no option to buy, they are just developing a player for Real Madrid.
It's so strange.
Just a really, really weird decision for Chelsea.
It was part of the Courtois deal, wasn't it? It's basically £35 million on a player for a season, which isn't great. I mean, in all fairness,
you've got to be gutted for Loftus-Cheek, haven't you?
Yeah, and he has basically been shunned to one side. He came off the bench the other day, has to be said, but I think he was expecting minutes this season, and they are definitely. It's going to have an impact on him now, how much he plays. I would love to see, just from a football and fan point of view, I just want to see Loftus-Cheek do well.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot about him.
He's got a high ceiling.
Yeah, and maybe apparently Crystal Palace were trying everything
to get him back,
moving mountains to try and get him back, and they just could not do it because Chelsea were adamant he was staying. But I just don't want to see Chelsea just keep hold of a player for too long.
Yeah. Well, they've loaned out Bakayoko, so maybe there's a space in midfield for him there.
Well, maybe, or maybe that's the space that Kovacic fills.
Probably, yeah.
With regards to Kepa, it's rumoured that in January, before he signed a new deal for Athletic Bilbao, Real Madrid were offered them for £20 million. And I can't work out why Real Madrid wouldn't sign him for $20 million, and yet Chelsea are willing to pay $71 million.
Yeah, the weird thing for me is when we were looking at new keepers and people were listing
just flick that light on for us, mate.
Yeah, no worries. When people were listing keepers that we could go out and buy, Kepa's name didn't turn up once.
Not even
in any of those conversations.
No. And I said to you yesterday about Oblak as well. It's not too far off the price for him, who's regarded as one of the best goalkeepers there is.
They tried, and he turned them down.
It's just strange. It's just strange to me. I'm not saying...
Seems quite a desperate move.
It does. It stinks of it. And it was literally well, we're going to go into this season with Caballero and Rob Green as our two main goalkeepers. We have to buy somebody.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, they've signed a 23-year-old goalkeeper, which in goalkeeper years, it's not old.
It's a baby.
It is. And we're looking at, he's got one cap for Spain. One. And
time will tell if it's a bad panic buy or if it's inspired. My money's on the former.
I don't agree. I think you'll see a lot of quality from him, but my issue is that I don't think that defence is good enough at this moment in time maybe not good enough, but has long enough to see him develop properly with them.
He's going to get under a lot of pressure quite quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen, they've got David Luiz there, who's erratic to say the least.
Alonso, who's now not playing as a wing back, he's playing as a left back, and can't really defend.
That left hand side of that defence looks really weak when you start.
It looks get-at-able, doesn't it?
I mean, you're looking at David Luiz is 31. Azpilicueta is old. Let me just Google that. So, I mean, David Luiz is 31. Azpilicueta, he's 28, to be fair. It's not that old. And then Marcos Alonso, he's been inconsistent so far. Rudiger's still young. He's still got a long time. But I just think that there's going to be a point where they're going to be rebuilding that in the near future.
They've got that Christensen. Apparently, Sarri really fancies Emerson at left back.
Right.
It's going to be difficult because that team has been so used to playing defensively and making sure that is boxed off first, that switching to a high line and switching to like attacking fluid play is going to be quite the culture shock to the defensive players for a bit. And I can see them linking a lot of goals, and I can see Kepa being put under a lot of pressure quite early on.
What you would say is, though, if there's ever a point where Chelsea do need to revert back to norm, if you will, and go a bit more defensive, then to have N'Golo Kante to push backwards a little bit. I mean,
it's like they've got the options there.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely decisions that can be made there to shore them up.
Yeah, they're going to be an interesting team to watch.
Definitely. And
what you said last week, I'm gutted we're not playing them next week.
Yeah,
I think we could batter them.
I think if we play them early enough, we would wipe the floor with them. But I just think we play them at a point where everything might just be taken a little bit for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still early enough that might not be the case, and everyone is looking at Chelsea and just being like, give them time, kind of thing. They will settle, but he needs to have time, which is a commodity that Chelsea managers do not get.
Yeah. Well, I think Sarri's come out and said that, look, be patient. My first 3 games for Napoli, I think we lost and drew 2.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people are a lot of managers now are going to be asking for this time. But in the Premier League, typically, you can't really risk falling into the abyss of, 6th for too long, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 7th. I mean, we've seen that. Liverpool are at a point now where we're back to saying that, all right, it's City, Liverpool, top 2, and then 3rd and 4th can be any of the other 4. And Liverpool are at that point now where we can probably say top 4 should be ours, should be done.
Yeah.
And we're first game in the season. That the minimum expectation this season is Liverpool finish. It's not even an expectation. It's basically a requirement now. Liverpool will finish in the top 4. It's just about where we finish in that top 4.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the first. Otherwise it doesn't matter. as I'm paraphrasing Bob Paisley a little bit. But yeah, it is interesting. I would like to have played Chelsea a bit earlier, but it's still probably early enough that we'll do something against them.
Oh, definitely.
And by that I mean I expect Liverpool to do something against Chelsea whenever we play them. But what I mean is that it will still be making sense to them. And we're at a point now where this is the point I was making, where a lot of managers are going to be turning around and asking for a bit of time. So you've got Emery and you've got Sarri, even Pellegrini might be asking for it, but you can't really risk falling into the abyss like we did. Do you know what I mean? Like we did, and we have done in the past, and it was horrible. And there's too much money in football now for that to be allowed to happen.
It's financially like an absolute disaster, and finishing outside of the top 4 now.
Yeah. And it's all about redevelopment after that.
Yeah. Speaking of, shall we see how Unai Emery's redevelopment's going on?
Yeah, let's talk about that, yeah, shall we? We haven't even talked about Everton Wolves.
It was all right, fine. It was dead end to end, which was really entertaining, but they're both a bit shit.
They're both a bit shit. Everton would have walked it if they'd have had
to be fair, they looked good until the sending off, but it was a definite sending off for one, and it was fucking stupid. It was a definite sending off. Don't look at me like that. My boss is an Everton fan. He said it was a definite sending off.
Fuck's sake. I didn't want to talk about this game for too long, and now it's going to be a 10-minute talk. Right. Phil Jagielka has won the ball. He has got the ball.
And his foot follows through, studs up, onto the lad's ankle.
He has won the ball. He has won the ball. He has won the ball.
Yes, fine. You can say that as many times as you want, but you can still win the ball and it be a foul.
Yeah, and I understand.
And if it's a foul in that position, it's sending off.
I understand.
Not to mention the fact that it's incredibly dangerous.
I'm not arguing the fact that if it is a foul, it is a red card. I completely agree with that. But my argument would be, if I saw a Liverpool player do that, I would be fucking livid if they went for it.
I'd be livid if he went for it. It's his own mistake, and he's panicking, and he's trying to exert himself to fix the mistake that he made. And he goes in wildly, and he makes a foul, and he gets sent off, and he's an idiot.
I've seen players do that before for Liverpool, though. I've seen Gerrard do that numerous times and win the ball back, and the whole cop just goes fucking mad because of
but
tackle.
it is so risky.
John Flanagan did it to Raheem Sterling a couple of years ago. Remember when he came back for the first time as a City player?
Yeah. And Jordan Henderson clapped him as he did.
Yeah.
But it is really, really risky. And if you don't get it right, as he didn't get it right, it's a sending off.
A defender is taught when you are developing as a defender, the first thing you're taught is if you get the ball, get the man as well. Make sure that the man can't get back up. Yeah, and that's fair enough, but it's the way he's had to go for it.
Because of his own mistake, and he's overexerting himself, and he's overstretching.
So what's he supposed to do in that
Don't
situation?
make a fucking mistake. Don't be shit.
Alright, but mistakes happen. We're Liverpool fans, we've seen mistakes happen.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Fair. Do you know what I mean? What's he supposed to do in that situation if he's made that mistake? Is he supposed to let the fella run at him?
No, but,
He has to make that tackle.
Fine,
he has to make that challenge.
Yes, but it is a foul.
I don't agree. I understand what you mean. It's a dangerous looking tackle, but it's a dangerous high foot from Mane last season against Ederson. But me and you were both arguing till we were blue in the face that Ederson shouldn't be putting himself in that position, kind of thing.
Yeah, because he's a goalkeeper about 50 yards off his line and like ducking down.
Yeah, but Jagielka goes in to win that ball. It's a different circumstance, obviously, because it's a completely accidental thing with Mane. But Jagielka, I don't think for 1 minute Jagielka's going in with intent.
No, of course not. But intent does not equal red card. But people get that confused so many times. Like, oh well, he didn't mean it.
He won the ball.
He won the ball, but he still fouled him.
Right, I can't believe I'm fucking arguing for Everton here. Phil Jagielka won that ball. I would be, if Dejan Lovren did that, someone who will play next week. If we play against Crystal Palace next week and Joe Gomez does that, I'll be absolutely fucking seething. And it will be another referees don't understand football.
And I'll sit on my hands and I'll say, yep.
Good decision.
Good decision.
The trouble with referees is they know the rules, but they don't know the game. And apparently the same goes for math. Away from Jagielka.
Anyway.
No, just one last thing. Ruben Neves was fucking incredible. And I look forward to seeing him in a Liverpool shirt in a couple of years.
It would be lovely.
So we're signing him and James Maddison. We aren't. I could do with Neves, actually. I could get behind Liverpool signing Neves, but I digest. You just fit that in every week now.
Of course. It's the new Gini Wijnaldum's never scored an away goal.
It is. Well, he's took that away from me now, hasn't he? So
yeah.
What we're talking about? Oh yeah, Arsenal versus City.
Right.
So I said Arsenal could have done something against City, and for a lot of the game, it looked like it was possible.
Yeah, City weren't at their best.
City weren't at their best, and Arsenal. There were points where it just didn't click, which was
they
really
did look quick going forward.
Yeah.
Though.
There's a point where Ederson gives the ball away to Ozil, and Lacazette, rather than taking the ball in like a striker would do normally, just steps aside and tries to let Ozil carry on.
It's weird. They seem to just not really know what to do.
Yeah,
up there. But some of the play was there. At the back, they were
midfield in
to be a bit
particular
of
let them down
yesterday. That new lad.
I think we need to talk about him a little bit because there's a lot of talk that he played very well yesterday and was Arsenal's best player from people who understand football better than me and you do. Pundits.
I don't know what game you're watching.
I completely agree with you. And they were like, he's a young lad who's just made a couple of mistakes. And that's fair enough. Young
mistakes
lads,
per minute, probably.
Yeah, young lads make mistakes. But he actively played in Sergio Aguero at one point. And like he was very poor. And I don't want to blame a 20-year-old for it, because at the end of the day, he's 20. He's been signed from League 2. Well, League 2, I guess it is, isn't it?
Excellent French.
Yeah, I'm very good at French. And
it's Guendouzi we're talking about for context, by the way.
Yeah. But he's also playing alongside Granit Xhaka, who is
not the most assured
awful.
midfield. It's not the most assured of midfield, is it?
I feel bad for him, and I don't want to make him like Arsenal's easiest scapegoat. I thought they were all. Well, I thought Lichtsteiner was good when he came on. I thought
but
Socrates.
You can tell he's not a left back though.
Yeah, he looked like a right back out of position, actually, to be fair. Yeah. Socrates played all right, I guess. He didn't have much to do though. Aguero didn't really trouble them directly.
Yeah, it was more danger from the wings.
It's just efficiency from Man City, and it's taking those chances when they do come. And
relying on Petr Cech being really weirdly shit.
Really weird. Yeah, I was about to say the first goal. It's just a collection. It's a comedy of errors. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's so weird.
I don't get, because like you can't say that like it's because he's seen it late, because he dove for it. He just didn't put his arms out.
Dived. No, but it's just the way it starts out. So it starts from Sterling cutting in. Bayern tracks him, then decides not to because Guendouzi comes across.
And Guendouzi just stops him, shows him,
and lets him onto his favoured right foot. And then he hits a shot which hasn't particularly got a lot of power behind it, straight past Petr Cech.
Yeah.
And Petr Cech literally just watches the ball go past him.
Dives the right way.
I don't know why I turned then. That's why the mic went quiet, because I went like this and sort of. But he just watches the ball go in. I can't work it out.
It is so strange. But it's nice to know Arsenal are still Arsenal at the back.
Yeah. I mean, well played Sterling. I guess he sees the opportunity and he just takes it.
Well, yeah, like he was given the opportunity by Guendouzi and the rest of the centre backs in midfield. Take it.
Bernardo Silva looks a player as well this season.
Yeah, his goal was really good, and
really well taken.
His general play was very, very good.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I don't think City really. I mean, in the same way that they didn't really have to get out of second gear, really.
The difference between us yesterday and City yesterday is, I think, we didn't make many mistakes. I think City were a little bit sloppy, and a better Arsenal team could have capitalised on that.
Is there an argument that a Wenger Arsenal team punishes that performance?
I don't. Maybe a couple of years ago, but I think if Wenger was still in charge, it'd be probably worse, to be honest.
It's just, to play City when you're in transition like Arsenal are now, and they are in a period of transition, which it's lovely to say about somebody else other than us.
Perpetual as ours.
We're still in transition. But if they are entering this period of transition now, where they're getting used to a new style of football, and it's maybe not ideal for what the players there, are maybe not ideal for what Emery wants to do. Is it fair to say that with a manager who they're used to playing under, that yesterday might have been a little bit? Arsenal might have had more of a go of it yesterday.
Possibly.
I'm not saying that they should have kept Wenger, by the way, but it's just
sorry, the poor boy. Wenger back. Get it trending.
What I am saying though is that it is the worst time to play Man City, probably. Just because of the timing of it, and I know
last week we were saying it's the best time to play Man City.
But
maybe specifically for this Arsenal team.
Yeah, well,
not a good time.
Last week we were saying it on the basis that City were coming back and they were shattered, whereas the players who played yesterday, only a couple of them, so only the England internationals really were the ones who reached the latter stages of the World Cup. De Bruyne obviously comes on, but they weren't anywhere near as tired as, for example, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Or United, to be fair. or surprisingly Leicester. But that like what I meant by that was obviously the fatigue could have came in for Man City, and we could have seen a different performance. But what we've actually seen instead is Man City, have quality off the bench. Who knew? And Arsenal just aren't quite as together as maybe their pre-season form's been letting on, and maybe we were. Maybe it was a bit. I'll fully admit I did say maybe Arsenal are going to do something here. And there was a point in the second half where I did turn around to you and I was like, Arsenal are going to do something here. And if they had, again, maybe the way I'm saying we're playing Chelsea a bit later on in the season than I'd want to play Chelsea like tomorrow, basically. Maybe if Arsenal play them when we play City, you might see a marked improvement in that performance. Yeah. I mean, City will obviously have men back and stuff like that, and City will probably be in their peak at that point, but it's just that Arsenal just looked like a team who just didn't quite understand what they were doing at that point, and it's a shame, really, because the players are there, and I still think that top four is going to do that front four is going to do bits this season. It's really going to do well.
True, but if they do have Xhaka and Guendouzi behind them,
yeah.
That's another thing. To give such a young player his debut against Man City
speaks of confidence.
It speaks of confidence, but it also might speak of a bit of naivety.
Yeah, and it was surprising. Was it Torreira looked good when he came on as well?
Yes,
Torreira
I don't understand why he didn't start.
Used the ball
he's very highly
well.
rated.
Stats were worse than Lucas Leiber's last season.
Xhaka is crying out for just a player next to him who is good.
So. Is Granit Xhaka the midfield Dejan Lovren?
How dare you?
Do you know what I mean? Like when he plays alongside someone who's a bit.
Have you know Dejan Lovren is the best centre back in the world?
When he plays alongside quality in inverted commas, yes. But,
no, I don't think any midfielder can make Granit Xhaka good. To be honest, there we go. I've said it.
That's fair. He is crap. He has got a hell of a strike on him
sometimes. Yeah, he's a long shot merchant who's not very good at all.
Once every 300 shots.
Yeah.
It's like Ronaldo's free kicks when
everyone reckons he's dead good at all.
Yeah, when one comes off, you're like, oh my god, how good's he at free kicks? And he's actually not. I mentioned earlier, basically, so City obviously winning 2-0 there. I mentioned earlier about
your criteria.
My criteria for Liverpool winning the league this season. Okay, so I had a little think about this while I was meant to be working. And what I do
a lot of thinking about Liverpool when I'm meant to be working, to be honest.
Well, what I've came to is, and I've said this to Matt, and Matt has approved it, that I'm allowed to say it. Okay. City's next 6 games are all against the teams who have either come up this season or last season to the Premier League from the Championship. So we are expecting Man City come the game after that is us at Anfield on the 7th of October. So we are all expecting Man City to come to Anfield on 21 points. Now, my criteria for Liverpool winning the league is if Liverpool get to the same stage and are on the same points total and can beat Man City from that point, Liverpool will win the league this season, and that is the day I will say it for. That is the day I will be like, yep, that's fine. Liverpool win the league. Don't give a fuck.
There we go. The gauntlet is thrown down.
Yep, the pen in this case. But if we get to a point, and in that 6 games, I'm not saying Liverpool are going to do it, because in that 6 games, Liverpool have got to play Tottenham, Liverpool have got to play Chelsea, Liverpool have got to go away to Leicester, Liverpool have got to go away to Crystal Palace.
It's not an
easy run in the slightest. But if Liverpool can navigate that run of games and they can come through it and we can be on 21 points by that point. I mean, let's be honest, both of us agreed West Ham probably wasn't going to be a stroll forward, do you know what I mean? You might have said 7-0 and I might have said 4-0 and 3 or 4-0 I think I said in the end, but it wasn't supposed to be as easy as that.
No. Like they were an unknown quantity. We were expecting a difficult game.
Yeah. But if Liverpool can get to the 7th of October and be on 21 points and be joint top of the league with Manchester City, that game, A, is going to be a fucking classic.
I think it's going to be a classic.
It's going to be a classic anyway, let's be honest. But yeah, Liverpool winning that game will be the day that you turn around and you're like, yeah, it's here. It was here. It was this day. And it's difficult saying that because the last time I've genuinely turned around and went, this will be the day that you say Liverpool won the league, was when Liverpool beat Manchester City 3-2 in 13-14.
Yeah. And then we all know what went on. Yeah. What happened there?
But it's just, I mean, that team was never meant to win the league. This one could, but quite easily win the league. And maybe who knows what this team could do? This team could finish this season without a trophy. This team could finish the season with all four, as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing to stop it, except for injuries, which we've all seen. But I mean, if Daniel Sturridge can go the season without getting injured, then no one else is ever getting injured.
Possible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure someone's going to have an internet countdown days until Sturridge gets injured somewhere. But, that's my criteria for the league. Matt, do you have any grievances with that? They're my conditions for Liverpool going on a march of glory from October to May.
And the criteria is win all 7 of your first 7 games, which is
win all 8. Because that's what I'm basically saying. We have to beat City as well. Liverpool have to get 24 points from their first 8 games, basically, and then. I mean, the week after...
And only then are you comfortable saying Liverpool will win the league.
This City team's that good.
Yeah, no, they are. But my thing is, these next 6 games, on paper, very easy for this Man City team. I don't think they win them all. I'm going to say that now. I don't think they win them all.
Matt. I mean...
I don't care.
Right. Okay, so let's go through them then. Huddersfield at home.
Yeah, I mean,
they got a point from it last season, but that was only because they just won the title and Huddersfield was still trying to fight for survival.
Yeah.
Okay, different kettle of fish completely. First game back at the Etihad. Second game in this run, Wolves away. Now we've already seen Wolves are not as well. They haven't hit the ground running as we all.
They haven't quite lived up to the hype.
No, but
it's only one game, and I do believe that they will come good. They will be good, and they're going to see Man City as a huge scalp that they can try and get.
Maybe, and why not? And they are going to attack Man City as well, which is the one thing that I did say last season.
And I can see Fulham doing it as well.
I mean, Newcastle at home and Fulham at home are the 2 games after that. Rafa, I mean, it'll take a miracle for Rafa to set up defensively and do a clean sheet there, but you never know. Fulham at home is just... It's probably an easy 3 points.
Probably too much for him, yeah. If it was at Craven Cottage, maybe a little bit.
Maybe. Cardiff away. I mean, I could see Cardiff breaking...
I can see that being the game we sack Warnock, to be honest.
I could see Cardiff finishing this season on a lower points total than Derby in 2007-2008. I have no confidence in this Cardiff team to stay up at all.
They still call Derby 0 in Nottingham. That's their name.
Oh, fucking hell. And then the last game of this run is Brighton at home. Brighton, who were fucking put to the sword by Watford.
Brighton are better than we think.
Brighton, apparently, like a lot of people reckon that Brighton were like extraordinarily poor against Watford. I haven't seen any of it at all, but they were just completely fell flat. Like they were expected to do so much better than they actually did. Man City will get right. So out of those 6 games, there's 18 points for them to play for. There's no doubt in my mind Man City will get 18 from that. The least they're getting is 15.
Yeah, they're definitely getting more than 15.
But I think such is the standard of that Man City have set from last season, and I'm not. If ever you were to handpick the games that you had after a World Cup, when all your players are getting back to full fitness, that run of games there is absolutely perfect. Maybe not Arsenal, maybe not. You wouldn't have picked that to start with. Maybe you'd pick something nice and easy like Everton away or something like that. but they couldn't have picked those fixtures better themselves if they'd have tried.
True.
if Man City are going to have another incredible season, and 100 points again, if that happens, they win the league. No one is catching 100 points this season. This Liverpool team is very, very capable of 90 points this season, I think. So dropping 10 points next season, let's not forget, we have to take 3 off of them. If we win at the Etihad, we take 3 off of them and we add 3 to ourselves. So they're automatically, that gap goes a little bit there, do you know what I mean? And that 10-point gap that I'm talking about is now only 4.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all it takes. That kind of thing's all it takes, and then one other team does it too, then maybe a Chelsea, something like that. But I just think if Liverpool can match City while they're playing them, and Liverpool are playing Crystal Palace away, Brighton at home, Leicester away, Tottenham away, Southampton at home, and Chelsea away. If Liverpool can get to that City game and be on an even keel with Man City, anything is possible from this season.
Definitely.
Forward.
No, I do agree.
And then the week after we play Huddersfield, in which we will obviously roll over.
Of course.
Yeah, because me and you will have recorded the podcast going, it's fucking on! I can't believe it! We're going to win the league!
And then it's going to be a fucking Harry Moy, just masterclass. It's just running that midfield. It's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to that.
Fuck no. Right. So that's the season planned out already then.
Excellent. I love it.
Yeah. I want to write an article about this season as well. I had a little idea about it in my head the other day, and I've been meaning to find a time for it, but I couldn't be asked all weekend. So
it's hard with jobs as well, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's just finding the motivation to sit down for like 4 or 5 hours and just find I've done it a couple of times, and it's getting a constant flow going. It's like when you were writing essays in school, only this is interesting. I'm happy with that for this week.
Hell yeah.
So the Reds are currently top of the table. Come 7th October, we're going to be top of the table on 24 points. Come the end of the season, we're going to be top of the table on, as it stands right now, is it 114 points?
Yeah.
114 points.
I'm going to be conservative and say 95.
Okay, that's fine.
The only time I'll ever say I'm going to be conservative.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel dirty now.
Oh, right.
I need to go shower. Get the glue off me.
So thank you very much for listening again. If you could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Spotify, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Podbean
and
follow
Podcast
us
Addict.
Yeah, Podbean. Did I say YouTube? I said YouTube.
Yeah.
iTunes.
You said YouTube.
iTunes.
iTunes. Yeah, the main one.
I was like, there's one missing here somewhere. And if you like what you've heard, please share it. If you don't, let us know why. We'll find some way of improving. I'm sure we will.
Next week, films.
Yeah, because at some point we're just going to get bored of this and we're just going to start talking about random shit like why, Spider-Man's the best Avenger or something like that. I don't know. He's not.
I was going to fucking say. But get up and lamp you.
Fucking Jurgen Klopp batter him. You know who would batter him? Virgil van Dijk.
I think he'd batter anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, that is fair. So please, all feedback's appreciated. Thank you very much again. As we've always said, we really enjoyed doing this, and it's really nice to do it in your spare time. That's been this week's The Story of a Poor Boy.
The Reds are back.
Yeah, buddy!